Hello, it is time for our shamrock for St. Patrick's Day. We're going to first draw it. I've got the pencil drawn on here, but you don't need to draw in pencil first. A shamrock is 4 hearts. So I'm going to start with 1 heart and end right here at the center. Oh, this marker's not happy with me. That's annoying. And then I'll make one directly other side of it. Just like that. It doesn't matter if they're not perfect hearts. And then we'll add another one right here. And they can overlap if you want them to. There can be space. Whatever's fine. And then we'll add our last heart right here. And if you want to, you can give them that little, like that little line down the middle. Make them look like leaves. Then you can also do a 3-leaf clover, but I like a lot of luck, so I'm going with 4. Then we're going to make the little stem on the clover. So that's 2 lines, and then I'll close it in like that. So that's our clover. That's all we do. That's how you draw it. Now we can come in with our paint and do whatever we want. Now your clover can be green, yellow, any colors you like, or what do I always say? Your art is for you. It can be any colors you want it to be. I like to kind of play in each section of the clover with different colors. I'm going to just erase these pencil lines I have. I always like to go draw mine in pencil because sometimes when I'm performing a tutorial, I feel like a lot of pressure to make this great for you. So it helps me if I already have the pencil lines when I'm doing a demo. But if I was just doing this just for me at home, I wouldn't have done those lines. Okay. I think I'm going to stick with greens today, and then I have a special speckle surprise at the end for you. I did my nails all for St. Patty's Day. All right, so I'm using, let me back out a little bit so that you can see my paints and stuff. Here we go. Now you can see everything. Let's reset focus. Make sure. There we go. All right. So I have my praying. I have 16 colors. It's fine if you just have the 8. You can do this easily with 8. I'm going to start in one of my clover sections. Let's see. I'll start with this one. Let me make sure this is dry. Yeah, it looks like my marker's dry. I'm going to paint the whole thing with water. I mean, just a light coat. It doesn't have to be a heavy coat of water. But I'm going to go with a light coat simply to set my boundaries so my paint knows where to go. And I can start with any color I want, but I think I'm going to start with blue. And you might be thinking, why are you doing that? This is weird. I just want to try it. I want to see what happens. This is one of those activities where we can paint in one color, then we can add another color and see how the paints behave together. So I'm going to go with blue and dab that around the edges. Then I think I'll go with green inside of the blue. Oh yeah, that is perfect. So I'm going to add my green. You could try any colors you want. Your clover doesn't even have to be green. It can be purple. Each set of leaves could be a different color if you want. And once you get those colors in there, you can blend them, mix them any way you want. Now I'm going to add some yellow maybe and see what happens. Ooh, that was kind of fun. All right, so there's some yellow. I might even add some more green in the middle of my yellows. That's really fun. And you could always add some salt to this if you want. I don't think I'm going to add salt. I do think I want to add some more blue though. So in each one, you can sort of just play around however you want to. And at the end, all of your colors will go together in whatever way they want to go together. And they'll kind of get mixed up. You can pick up your paper. You can move those colors around like this. Whatever you want to do. So there's one leaf. Next, let's see. I'm going to start with yellow next. And I'm going to try not to touch that one. We'll see what happens. I'm going to put a real light coat of yellow on here. And if some of that green comes over into this yellow, it's okay. I am going to use all those colors anyway. So I don't care if they blend in a little bit, if they come over here and party, even though I didn't really invite them. It's all right if they want to come have a paint party. It's St. Patty's Day. It's the perfect time to get a little bit of party going on. So now I'm going to use, I have the 16 colors, so I'm going to use a yellow green. So if you are using the 8 colors and you want to get this color, you would mix a lot of yellow and a little bit of green. And I'm just going to dot it throughout because this is my favorite way to do this. You can paint these sections any way you want to. And then maybe I'll use some of this green blue. All of these are kind of yellows, greens, and blues, so they're going to coordinate pretty well no matter what we do. We can rest assured that they're probably all going to make a lovely green color. And this is a good way to experiment with your paint set and see how you can mix together and get different greens. So even though this one is a different color than that one, I don't mind. You know how I said I wasn't going to use salt? I've changed my mind. And why is it okay to change your mind? Because this art is for you. So I'm using the little tiny smallest pinch of salt, and I'm going to go, I'm just putting out a little bit of salt, y'all. This is not a lot of salt. I want to be able to see the individual grains of salt so that as things dry, that salt can do its magic and we don't have too much salt all over the page. So now I could do this section, or I could skip over here because I think this edge is kind of wet. So I think I'm going to do that. All right, I've started with yellow. I've started with blue. I'm going to start with this green in this one, and I'll put a really light coat of this green. I like these little shamrocks too, because if you were with me last year for St. Patrick's Day, we did a shamrock, but we added pattern to it. We didn't paint it. We just, or we may have painted it, but it was very patterny. So this one, I thought, let's go, let's paint it. Let's make it nice and fun. Beautiful. I am so way outside the lines. Oh no. Just having a good time. All right. So I have that apple green, then I'm going to add some of my blue green and match my fingernails. I like this. This always makes me think of Elsa in Frozen. This pretty green, blue, blue, green. Those were always my two favorite crayons as a child. I liked green, blue, and blue, green. And depending on the day, I liked one or the other of them better. Sometimes green, blue was my favorite, but sometimes it was blue, green. I guess it also depended on the pack of crayons, because if I had the big 64 pack, ooh, I loved magenta. And there were a lot of colors I liked. Ooh, let's go in this royal blue and add a little bit, ooh, darken it right up. But I'm just pouncing the tip of my brush around. I'm not doing a lot of specific mixing. I am just doing what I want. It's funny how when we add this green, it really starts to go toward a more olive color. We don't realize how dark that green is until we get it maybe kind of close to some other colors. But I'm going to put a little more because I don't want all that blue. I want it to be brighter and greener. But I know I need to work quickly to get some salt on there. So again, I mean the tiniest bit of salt possible. And I'm going to sprinkle. When I sprinkle from up high, I feel like it goes more, like it spreads out better. All right, so one section left. What color should I start with here? We've started with a blue, a yellow, the bright green. Maybe I'll just start with dark green here. Oh, that's such a pretty color, Kelly green. One of my very best friends is named Kelly. I think I have said that before in some of my tutorials, but her birthday is actually on St. Patrick's Day. So I always like to share that little tidbit about her. So she's named Kelly Green after the color, and she's got pretty green eyes. I think Kelly Green is my favorite green, just a good, leafy, saturated, beautiful green. I do love it. All right, so now in this one, I can dot like some yellow. Let's see. Ooh, that's pretty. So in this one, I can dot around some yellow. I feel suddenly like that friend up there doesn't have enough yellow in it, so maybe I'm gonna add yellow where I put that salt, where I know that it's nice and wet. And we'll see what happens. You can always go back to your previous sections and put some more paint there, see what happens. You're not done till you're really actually done, right? Ooh, this is trying to escape. So I'm gonna fold my paper a little bit, get it going back in there. I think we need some one of the blues, the green blue or the blue green. Oh no, which section am I working on? This one? My mind is all over the place today. You ever have days like that where your mind is thinking about 100 different things? You just want it to settle. You just want it to paint. I'm hoping that by painting this, I'll be able to settle my mind down and get into a more flowy, free, concentraty state of mind. I'm gonna go more yellow. Whee! It's like sliding down the hill. That's fun. I have a feeling that I'm going to put a lot of speckles on this one. Some of you live in the same part of the country or the world as me, and some of you don't. So in my part of the world right now, it's spring. So it's sometimes it's warm. Right now it's absolutely beautiful outside because it's getting just a little bit, it was really warm here for a while, but then we had a little cold front come through, and now it is just absolutely phenomenal outside. The weather is amazing. It's exactly what I would describe as spring. So it's cool, like in the morning maybe you need a sweatshirt, but the afternoons when the sun is shining, oh, they're just glorious. They're wonderful. It's the best kind of weather. All right. Oh, I need to put some salt on that last one. I forgot. A little salt there. There we go. And then I just have to paint that stem. So let's do that. I'm going to flip it around so we can see the stem. My desk is really messy here. I need to do some spring cleaning of the desk probably. That's not going to happen today. All right, so for my stem, I'm going to start with this bright green. Spring also, for me, means allergies. But that's part of having all the beautiful flowers and the greenery and the pretty trees. Is also the allergy part of it. Ooh, that's pretty. All right. So there we go. Pardon me. Okay. For speckles here, I guess I could put some salt on the stem. I'll do it. Why not? I did it on all the other parts. Okay, so the tiniest bit of salt I can possibly pour out is what is going on the stem. Now, for the background, for all the fabulousness of this, I'm gonna speckle in all of those colors that I just used. So I'll start with this bright green. I'll throw down some of those speckles. I'll add in yellow. I love when the speckles fall on the shamrock itself, because that really makes it so beautiful. So I'm going to put some more yellow, maybe some bigger yellow, because that brightens it right up, doesn't it? All right, and then we used, our dark green. I'm going to do a little more dark green. That's pretty. And then we also could use some blue, can't we? I don't know if I want a lot of blue going on the actual shamrock, but you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'll use this blue green, this green blue. I don't remember which goes first. Like if it's mostly blue with a little bit of green, is it green blue or is that the bluish green? Oh no. I like to call them aqua and turquoise. And it's funny, some of the tones of blue-green, different people, some people call them green, some people call them blue. I call them all blue. If it's the least bit blue, I usually call it a blue. All right, here comes the special speckles that I told you about. So I have iridescent paints, and they have all of these really fun colors in them. But I'm going to speckle with gold. So let's see. This looks like the most leprechaun gold that I have. So these are kind of thick. So you've got to put a pretty good amount of water in them to get them all melty. All right. So let's see. Oh yeah, that's nice. I like it. So I'm going to dip in water just to get it nice and watered down. So when that dries, that's going to be iridescent. Ooh, I cannot wait. It's going to be so pretty. All right. I'm going to town with the speckles here. These are going to be awesome. You know what? I think I want to throw some green too. Let's see. I'm going to use this like sea foamy green because that's not a color we really have on our shamrock, so it'll contrast nicely. I'm going to dip quickly in water. Then I'm going to roll my brush around so that water mixes with the paint, and bam, here we go. This is awesome. It is the prettiest party of blues and greens and yellows. I love it. When we were little, I feel like sometimes we would go to St. Patrick's Day parade. I loved going to parades when I was little. My grandma would take us because she lived very, very near downtown. And we stayed with her while our parents were at work. So if it was on a regular weekday, she would take us to the parades and we would sit and wait for them all to come through. They had people that would like dance and people that would had different bands from different schools. It was always so much fun. All right, now I'm going to put some iridescent speckles that are this, I don't know what I would call this. It's a white speckles, kind of maybe beige, iridescent beige, maybe ivory. And I'm going to throw them. I'm mainly aiming to get them on my shamrock itself. And what color have I not used? Let's see what else could go here. Maybe this color that's like a bronzy coppery color. And I think this will be my last color. Yeah, that makes those blues pop nicely. I love it. So this is a super party speckle occasion for me, obviously. There's a super speckle party on my desk, and I got a little bit of that bronze in this blue, so I'm gonna wipe it off, and then I'll just obviously speckle it right on here, because speckling is what I'm doing. Any other colors that got invaded? Yep, that one did. So I'll grab that color, speckle it on down. My desk is definitely a party. My hole puncher has some speckles on it, but that's okay. It's watercolor. It washes right off. Let's see. I'm going to let this dry, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like dry. We'll see if our salt did anything interesting, and then we'll wrap it up.